All right, so in the last class, we have started discussing on text processing. As we have said, there were mainly three components in text processing. First is term selection, where we have looked at two alternatives. One is controlled vocabulary, which needs human expertise to make, and another is free text vocabulary, in which case we can actually select all the terms. But we also have discussed that all terms will not be equally important, but the term importance will be taken care of by the corresponding retrieval model that we will be using for doing the last level retrieval, which is the ultimate goal of this course to learn. Then we have discussed about term filtering, where we have discussed stop word removal, another important, and also downcasing. Today we will be discussing the third component of text processing, which is linguistic preprocessing or linguistic processing. Now, as we have discussed, this document representation approach or bag of words approach, for which we need to represent the document in a way such that we can measure an overlap between the query and the document, right? So if the terms are not overlapping between the document and the query, so this set will be basically null, right? In that case, which will be indicating that for a query or a query term, a certain document is not containing any any occurrence of that term in that document. So we need to have a kind of a mechanism to measure this overlap, in a methodical way, such that certain basic criteria shall be fulfilled, such as this. Let's consider a scenario where the document is containing certain terms. So basically, the document is a set of terms, as I have said in the bag of words representation. So the document is containing, say, Indian, institute, and some other terms, right? And let's say the document and the corresponding query that the discussion for this comparison. Let's say the query is institution in India offering course of, I don't know what this is. It is a form of or a wrongly written paleontology. Now, look at the situation of this and this. So here we have already discussed regarding the downcasing, which will be transforming this institution into all small, right? INSTITUTION, right? Institution. But if the document is containing the term institution, there will be a one-to-one overlap. But here it is containing the term institute, which is a form of institution. But we, as a human being, we can understand that they are similar, or they are actually indicating the same concept. So we need to have a mechanism to have an overlap, have an overlap between this and this. Because otherwise, if we just use the downcasing, institution and institute will not be overlapping based on this bag of words approach. Another thing is this paleontology, as I have said, this will be taken care of by another module, which is basically spelling checker or spelling corrector. Or another way is not actually corrector, but spelling variation handler, based on which we can actually understand that this is actually indicating paleontology. The spelling of which is, I think, Peleontoology. So instead of this E, someone or the user who had come up with this query had written I instead of E. So this spelling variant, spelling variant, you can say normalizer or spelling variant checker can actually take care of this. But for the time being, let's consider this scenario. In the query or in the document, let's say we have the term institute, and say in the query, we have the term institution, and there is no overlap, that's why no match. So different terms can be appearing in different aspects of a same document following the different grammars. Like a term, say organize, can be occurring as say organizes, organization, organizing, and so many other forms of the main term organize in the same document. So we need to have a mechanism to get a unified form which will be transforming all these terms into say organize or the root term, or a mechanism which will be say if the term is say A in the document, let's say we have the document is T and there we have a term say A, and in the query let's say we have a term say A hyphen, but they are actually similar in the sense like this. So we need a mechanism which will be transforming this into this, or this into this, or which will be transforming this into a form say B, and which will also be transforming A prime into the same form B, such that when we will be representing the document, if we encounter the term A, we will be transforming it into B. And while querying, if we are encountering a term A prime, which will be again transformed into B, such that there will be an overlap between the document and the query. So to do that, there are two mechanisms. So one is called lemmatization and second is called stemming. So for both of this mechanism, the common goal is to reduce the inflectional and deviational variant of a root word into a common base. So the mechanism, as I said, are lemmatization and stemming. Let's first discuss about lemmatization. So it will be, lemmatization is a mechanism which will be transforming the word into the head word, which is formally called lemma. For example, if the term is, which is occurring in the document, say am, it will be transformed into B. Am, is, are, all of them will be transformed into B. Similar to that, if the term is car, cards, car apostrophe S or cards apostrophe, then all of them will be transformed into the form card. So here this is basically the lemma. So in this case, B and card is basically the lemma of these terms. Now, as we can see, transforming from am to B is actually not that trivial. For doing that, we need human expert or language expert. This is actually expensive. Why expensive? Because any intervention by the human intelligence, by the human being with human intelligence, is actually expensive, because we can actually use a machine, use a computational device to do something which will be less costly as compared to if we actually apply, or if we actually employ certain human being to do the same thing. Any processing, in computer science, any intervention needed by human being is actually considered as expensive. So due to this reason, lemmatization is not actually applied in information retrieval. There is another reason. The reason is lemmatization is the process of lemmatization is also very time consuming. And as we can understand, if we are posing, if we are going to Google with a query, and the Google is, say, returning us a very good set of documents after 5 minutes, we will not be actually going to Google for, we will actually not be using Google for that. So we need the result fast, right? So that's why that is the second reason why lemmatizations are hardly applied in information retrieval. So the obvious choice is using stemming. Stemming is basically the mechanism which chops off end of words. So it will be basically removing or chopping off the suffix of the words, right? So basically the goal of stemming is to have a cheaper version of lemmatization, but it will be completely automatic. So given the terms institute, institution, institutional, all of them will be transformed into the stem, which will be institute. Note that I am calling this as stem. While discussing about lemmatization, I was referring to them as lemma. This is stem. What is the difference? The basic difference, I hope you can already understand. All the lemma will be actually actual words, actual dictionary words. But for stemming, the stem that we will be ending up with for certain words, it might be the case that it will not be an actual word like this. Institute is not actually a dictionary word, or any word, any known word that we that will be finding in the English dictionary. How this is actually relevant? So as I was giving the example, so if A is transformed into B, and if A prime is also transformed into B, there will be an overlap between the document and the query. Here A can be institute, here A prime can be institutional. In this case, B will be institute. So if institute is in the document and institutional is in the query, we will be getting an overlap. But as you can understand, it is also language dependent. In some language, a term can be stemmed into another form, but in other language that might be indicating something else. So we need to have a mechanism to detect the language before applying this stemming. So the basic common strategy is to identify a set of suffixes and remove them from the end of words. Now this identifying a set of suffixes can be actually done either manually or statistically. Both are possible. So basically, in simple word, what we will be doing is we need to have basically a set of suffix which are common in certain language, which can, I mean, if we put those suffix after certain form or after certain stem, we might be getting another word, such as say SSES, which will be transformed into SS. As we know, I mean, if the term is a process, the plural will be processes, right? So this will be actually needed to be chopped off. All right. So in sum, if we compare stemming and lemmatization, this will be, so basically stemming is the process of collapsing the derivationally related terms into the same form, which will be basically stem, which will be called as stem, referred to as stem. For lemmatization, it is the process of collapsing different inflectional forms into the same lemma. But as we have discussed, lemmatization is an expensive process. That's why we will not be using this. We will be using stemming in this course. But again, there are two strategies of making this set of suffixes. One is manually, another is statistically. So formally, the manually made set of rules or set of suffixes are called rule-based stemmer. So basically, as we have said, as we have written here, if we see a word ending with SSES, we will be transforming it to, I'm sorry, it will be, sorry, no, it was correct. We will be transforming it to SS. So basically, this ES will be removed. So if we see processes, so SSES, as we are seeing SSES, we will be transforming this SSES to only SS, which will be transforming processes to process. In this case, process, that is a stem, is actually a word. But for other examples such as this, for this institution, we will be ending up with a term which is not a dictionary word. So the most used and popular rule-based or manually made stemmer is called Porter stemmer, which is named after the person who had made this stemmer, called Martin Porter. So it is, as we have said earlier, stemmers are language dependent. So Porter stemmer is a stemmer made for English. So there are basically 5 phases of reductions based on which a term can be actually transformed into another form. So A can be transformed into B, can be transformed into C, based D. So these are basically the rules which are human made, which is basically particularly made by this researcher, Martin Porter. This is a set of rules. As we have seen, SSES will be transformed into SS. IES will be transformed into I. There are certain rules like this as well. And also, if a word is ending with S, it will be just removed. For example, cats. It will be removing, it will be basically transformed into cat. Now, this type of rule-based stemmer are also called aggressive stemmer, or particularly we can say this Porter stemmer is basically a very aggressive stemmer because it basically removes certain part of the terms aggressively. So this is basically the criteria of aggressive stemmer. So I think I have made, yeah, AGG, yeah, exactly. So Porter stemmer is basically an aggressive stemmer. The reason is, based on these rules, it will be blindly removing certain terms. For example, it might be the case that the ending word S, ending letter S is actually useful. It is not actually a case like this. In that case, it is actually causing a valid word being transformed into an invalid word. But can you guess why this would not be a problem? Because we will be applying the same Porter stemmer on the query as well. So document will be transforming, will be applying Porter stemmer to get T prime. Query, we will be applying this Porter stemmer to get Q prime. Now, instead of, to check the similarity between D and Q, we will be computing the similarity between D prime and Q prime. As Porter stemmer will be applied on both ends, it will not be a problem. In most of the cases, it will not be a problem, but there can be some certain problems which will be, which we will be encountering during writing some actual programs. We will be discussing them then. Now, again, this NLTK package that we have installed in the last class, there is a function called Porter stemmer, which can actually be used to stem a piece of text using this Porter stemmer. Now let's try to write that in our Jupyter notebook. Okay, so let me just import this so that it will be needed basically. So we will be basically using that same shelton.txt file, which is basically containing this text, which is basically after lowercasing and tokenization. Now, what we'll be doing is we'll be basically applying this Porter stemmer. Okay. Now, to apply the Porter stemmer, we first need to define an object of Porter stemmer type. So to do that, we need to call the Porter stemmer from the NLTK package. Porter stemmer is basically a function. Okay, now after doing that, we need to apply this Porter object on each of the terms in this string, which is basically, let me just call it once again as well. Oops, I think I haven't, yeah, I need to execute this, sorry. So now we have a set of terms in the filtered, which is basically downcased and stop words removed, just stored in filtered. So what we need to do is we need to write, say stmned stemmed equals to, again we can write a simple list comprehension statement here, say Porter dot stem in quote in bracket, say W for W in filtered. Okay, it is executed. Now if I print stemmed, so let's just print it word by word like we have done here. I'm just copying it to make it, to save some time. It is basically stemmed. As you can see, so earlier it was Jerry or Gary, it has become RRI. So any word ending with Y is actually being transformed into RRI. So there can be, so this you can see computer science or computer has been transformed into compute. So the actual term was computer. So ER has been removed. From science, SCIENC, the last ending E has been removed. Another thing you can see, Cornell, which is the name of the university, Cornell University, is also actually transformed into Cornell. Cornell University, the term Cornell was a named entity, which actually will be indicating itself something, an entity it will be indicating. But still, as it is an aggressive stemmer, it is also transforming Cornell into something not actually the same spelling, with the same spelling. You can also see Cornell University, VERSITY has been transformed into VERSITY has been removed, and so on and so forth. So you can simply apply, or you can simply test the effectiveness or the stem of certain words using this. So basically what you can do is you can call the porter.stem function with certain words, say university. If you execute this, sorry, if you execute this, we'll be getting the stem of this term. So using this Porter stemmer, we can actually stem certain words. Here in this case, we have stemmed the entire document here. Moving ahead. So let's compare the output of stemmer and lematizer. In case the input is something like this, Porter stemmer will be transforming it into this form. Such an analysis, which will be transformed into analysis. Reveal features will be transformed into feature, excluding the ES at the end. Easily will be transformed into EASILI. Note that there was no I here. So basically this Y has been transformed into I. The reason is ILY, there was a rule in Porter stemmer which indicates that if a word is ending with ILI, ILY, it will be transformed into ILI. So visible has been transformed into without this without this E at the end. Variation into variate. Individu, you're right, with the excluding the AL. Genes, gene. Picture, TUR. Microbiology is biologically has been transformed into biolog. So you can see the entire thing, ICALLY, the entire thing has been removed. So actually, particularly, there are 6 letters. ICALLY has been removed. Transparent, again transformed into transfer. And interpretation has been transformed into interpret. For lematizer, so actually this is correct. Analysis has been kept as analysis. Can reveal features has been transformed into feature. So look at the contrast. Features has been transformed into feature by Porter stemmer and transformed into feature by lematizer. So this is basically the stem of features, and this is basically the lemma of the same word features. Easily visible is kept as it is. Variation, the term was variations, which is transformed into variation, but the stem was variate. Genes, note that genes has been transformed into the same stem as well as it is transformed into the same lemma. So there can be certain cases for which this kind of a thing we will be encountering. But as I said, making this is actually expensive. So that's why we will be using a stemmer. Most of the cases we will be using Porter stemmer. So the second type of stemming algorithm that I have mentioned is basically a statistical stemmer, where given a large set of documents, it can actually learn based on the term co-occurrence or particularly character co-occurrence to understand what type of, what are the possible stems that we can get. So some statistical stemmers are called YAS, or yet another suffix stripper, or grass. So these are two very popular stemmers which are statistical stemmers. Now note that for rule-based stemmer, as we have mentioned, it is basically language dependent, right? But for statistical stemmer, if we can get some statistical rule, we can actually make a stemmer which can be language independent. Now, just to let you know, both of them are actually language independent. That means we can apply the same algorithm or same stemmer on, say, English as well as, say, in Hindi or Bangla or any other language. So the reason is, as in this statistical stemmers, as they will be checking the character co-occurrence on the large set of document, it can actually, given a Bangla text, it can actually understand certain words or certain similarities. Like, say, I don't know whether, most of you I know are non-Bengali, but let me just give you a small example. Like, really pardon my, not being able to understand Hindi. So if this kind of a term is given, which is in Bangla, which is called amader, in Hindi, I think it is hamare, this there can be actually removed. So if we look at the entire data set, there will be so many occurrence of ama as well, like amar, and there will be so many occurrence of amar, right? So here we will be understanding, or the statistical stemmer will be understanding, this a and ma are basically occurring together a large number of times. So they will be kept as it is. So this part will be basically chopped off. This is the beauty of statistical stemmer. We don't need a human intervention. Given a large set of document, it can actually infer the rules. In which case, in case of rule-based stemmer, the rules are made by human beings. All right. So now, after applying the downcasing, the stopword removal, the stemming, we will be ending up with a text like this, right? Now, the goal that we, with which we kind of ended up with this text is basically describing the content using content. This was the goal of free text vocabulary, right? Now, as we have started our discussion with, we have mentioned that all the words are not equally important or equally descriptive, right? And from the point of view of a computer, from this text, in is equally important as, say, Shelton. But we as a human being, we know that in this document, Gerard Shelton are the most important document terms. Maybe Nuremberg, which is the birthplace of Shelton, is also important. Cornell will also be an important term. Computer science can also be important. But say at, he, So these terms are not actually important. Although after applying stopward removal, these terms, most of these terms will be removed. But still, in this document, scientist is not an important term as much as Shelton or leading. After applying stemming, which will be basically lead or lead, if we compare the importance of lead and Shelton, we know that the Shelton is more important than lead. Although after applying stopward removal and stemming, the text we will be ending up with, from the point of view of a computer, they will be equally important, because their computers do not understand or do not have the power to discriminate between the important and non-important terms, which we as a human being we can actually infer. But as we have discussed, this term importance will be taken care of by the retrieval model, which we will be studying later on.